Hey everybody, it's your pal Val back with another daily vlog. The last daily vlog I did was about 3 days ago, so it's not that daily, but I'm getting the hang of it and everything. Thank you for the lovely comments on the last video. That was sort of an experiment to see like how long could I possibly just blather out the mouth like with very little notes. What is it? Extemporaneously. Uh, yeah, that's the word. And just fill space and time with my thoughts. And I went for like a half an hour. So that's pretty good. I think definitely when I get to be more slick and I learn more about the video stuff and like I learn how to put images, put 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 images. I'm trying to point this direction. I can't. I put images above my head. Above. Oh, see, there it is, right there. When I first learned direction, but then after that, when I learned how to put images over there, like little things as I talk and stuff, that's going to be pretty exciting. Um, but you got to learn how to walk before you can run. So thanks for sticking with me. Uh, Usually I shoot these videos really early in the morning. Now it's almost 12 in the afternoon. But I usually like to do them really early in the morning because they kind of like actually give me like this burst of energy. Like I kind of really like doing these videos. I mean, at least just for myself. Like I just it's great. But before I was like, you know what? Before I do that, looking at my to-do list, I was like, let me just take 10 minutes to, finally just cross off my to-do list, like, applying for unemployment insurance. I'm sure it'll just take, I mean, what, 15 minutes at the most? And then I'll just go about my day. Just, to be proactive, to be good, just get that done. And then it's like, the that's on SpongeBob screen, like, 3 hours later. With me like, but I figured it out and it's all good. But yeah, so now I'm doing this at noon, which is fine. Not going anywhere. So what are we going to talk about? I had a list of notes. Yeah, I mean, just some housekeeping of like, the different videos and stuff. I did a poll on my X account about which which one of my collections, my personal collections of stuff you would like to see me show off on this channel. And the choices were my Star Trek action figure collection, which is like mostly from the old Playmates line of the 1990s, and then my vinyl record collection, which is not nearly as large as it used to be, but still some interesting choices. And or my Rainbow High doll collection, um, which I love. And but I let just people vote. I think there's still a day, like or like less than a day left on the poll, but so far the rankings are Star Trek action figures are on top, and then the vinyl records, and then all the way in the bottom with like one vote is Rainbow High. Um, now you love my girls, my girls, and one boy doll. Like none of you love that. I will eventually, of course, spoilers, do videos in all those topics. And the Rainbow High one especially will be really funny because it's sort of like the portrait of somebody of like a person who never thought they would get into a fandom or collecting or like a niche or something, how they fall into it. Um, it's going to be great. But they're all going to be amazing. But it looks like the Star Trek one might win out, but who knows? It's like neck and neck with the vinyl records. So there's that, and then I have to do the next part of my live reading of my 2009 book Conspiracy, which is a humor book, not a book of nonfiction. It's a humor book. Um, and one of my friends on X and here had pointed out to me that Marvel actually did a comic book called Conspiracy, though it was conspiracy, not conspiracy! Exclamation point. That being said, if I ever do want to turn that book into like a comic, I will probably kind of name it something different, just not to confuse the two and stuff. So it was good that I knew that, for the branding, for the website, for the ancillary products. It was good. So I thank you. I thank you, loyal person who pointed that out to me. Um, so I have to do the next part. So I was looking over the next chapter or so of Conspiracy, and it was the chapter that it's actually an interlude chapter that has our main character Todd Morians. Um, he kicks his cat. He basically the interlude is he kicks his cat, and I wrote this in like 2009, but now I'm reading it in 2025, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, and I'm self censoring myself because I'm like, we can't have cat kicking in this book. I'm just being honest of what my thought process was. Uh, we can't have cat kicking in this book. We can't have that. There's to be no cat kicking, no kicking of the cat. All cats are wonderful. Um, but of course, there's context to that interlude of why Todd kicks his cat, and I will say it here, so I don't like if I do like read the rest of that, in the next conspiracy thing that I post, I won't break the rhythm there with my neuroses, but I'll do it here. I mean, basically, Todd, he's come back from like this comic book convention, and his art's been rejected, and he feels terrible, and he got this cut on his nose, and everything. He looks like Jack Nicholson from Chinatown with his bandage on his nose. He's just, he looks like what's his face from Hereditary too, right? With the bandage on his nose, and he's just like, and he's like, but you love me, right, cat? And the cat, now the cat is not his cat. The cat is an ex-girlfriend's cat. It's been established he has no real chemistry with this cat. The ex-girlfriend left this really big, obese cat in his house, and he's trying to have a, a dialogue with the cat and a relationship, but whatever. And so what happens is like he's all dejected and sad, and the cat comes up to him and he picks up the cat and he's like, you still love me, right? And then the cat scratches like massively, like Wolverine's his the bridge of his nose where his wound is already, and it opens up the wound even more, and there's blood everywhere. And so then Todd kicks the cat, which almost seems justified, but you should never. Look at this piece of hair here. Where is that hair? No, these newfangled video things, I'll never get used to it. Like I have a piece of hair there, but then like I'm there, and then all right, never mind. Delete that. Let's go back to the original point. Todd kicked the cat, and you should never kick a cat. 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 So I was like self-censoring myself. Like I can't, I can't have this thing. I'm kicking the cat. But then it's like I'm self-censoring myself for something like that. And meanwhile, like Stephen King, I'm gonna. This is the rant. This is the rant's been building for about several decades now. Stephen King has this book called It. Have you heard of that book, It? There's a book that he did. It was a little book. It's actually a really big book, big ass book called It. And you know how close to the ending of It, what goes down in that book, right? Right? If you don't know, let me sort of tell you, and I have to allude to it because I don't want to just say it outright and then have like this video. I don't even know if this video is monetized or not, but I'm gonna just do like the drama. I don't want this video demonetized. But It. So what happens towards the end of It, the great finale, is well, let me back up. So like I first read It like maybe I was like 14 years old. 14 years old at the most. I was in school, and I dedicated almost a whole month, because the book's like 900 pages, almost dedicated a whole month to reading this book. And it was one of the great, like the big adult books that, and I don't mean adult like, wah, 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 adult. I mean, just like adults, book for adults, so, little did I know. But, like book for adults, like I'm reading it, dedicated almost a whole month to it. So I'm getting towards the end of it, and I remember it so well. I am sitting on the school bus. I'm still in effing school bus. I'm sitting on the school bus, getting to that point, and I'm reading it. They're in the cave, and they're like facing down like the Cthulhu monster, who's also It, and it's like, and all stuff like that. And then it's like, it's basically like a whole bunch of boys and one girl, like they're all friends, right? And they just decide to have this sort of weird Gnostic spontaneous ritual where all the guys, all the boys are taking turns having Congress with their one female friend right there, like underground, for the Cthulhu monster. I don't know what the thing, and it's like supposed to be this, and Stephen King writes this. It's like, it's this beautiful, yeah, but it's like some beautiful Gnostic rich, spontaneous ritual, and everybody's, and meanwhile, these are teenagers, but these are not teenagers like Grease. Remember Grease, the movie, the original movie? How like they're all supposed to be teenagers, but they're all kind of like, like in their early 30s and shit like that. No, no, no. In it, I mean, they're teenagers and like, a couple years ago I just hit puberty. That type of teenager, right? But they're all just like, they're all. And I'm reading this, and it's like I'm on the school bus and I'm reading this, and I'm just what the f, Stephen King, what the f, what am I reading? And it was like, and it always stuck with me, like that was the payoff, and it was like, I'm sure Stephen King, maybe on a bunch of white powder and stuff like that. I was like, this is such a beautiful Gnostic experience that they're all having. They're all going to remember it for the rest of their lives, and it's really great. And like I'm that age of what's the girl's name, Beverly, like on the school bus reading this shit, and I'm like, so he didn't self-censor himself. Now notice you don't see that scene in any of the adaptations. I don't think you do see them. Do you? Like I haven't seen the new It movies. I'll admit I have not seen them because they all sort of like blend together to me, like the new It movies and Stranger Things and like the new Ghostbuster movies. So I have like the same people in it, and it just all sort of blends together. Like but the original TV movie, which was like what, 92, earlier than 92, early 90s, the original TV movie with Tim Curry as Pennywise and all those guest stars, love that. And they don't have that scene, because if they had that scene, I would have been like. So my point is, what is my point? I have a point. My point is, Stephen King didn't censor himself for something that wacky, so why am I censoring myself over Todd kicking his cat? I don't know. These are, file it under writer problems. File it under writer problems. I have other topics I do want to discuss. I'm going to look, I jot these down during the day, topics. And let's see, Stephen King, It Ending, Conspiracy Next Chapter, talked about that. Oh, yeah, okay. Next topic is, so I saw this video, and it was like they take a TikTok video, and then they just like sort of even bastardize it further. They post it on X. There's a video by some person about reptilians. Okay, reptilians. Like, that's like a whole conspiracy theory for like the last 30 plus years, like about reptilians, that there's like people, in power, and like celebrities, they'll turn into like, lizard people and stuff. And somebody posted it, and it was just like this whole, hastily compilated thing of clips of all the like, supposed instances caught on tape of people, famous people turning into reptiles. And they're generally BS, starts with like Miley Cyrus, like sticking her tongue out and stuff like this. You see, it's not possible for a human to have a tongue that long. It might be possible for a human to have a tongue that long, but they're like, that's reptilian. And then they'll show stuff like bad video, where the video gets all kind of like scratchy, and they're like, look, the eyes are just turning into, you can see it, and this and that. And they go through and these are all, if you run into these types of videos on TikTok, on the TikTok and X or YouTube and whatever, and this is like your first time like seeing this stuff. This is stuff with like a long lineage of conspiracy folklore, long lineage. And videos like that will just take stuff from like decades and just all put it together and say, this is proof, lizard people, like da-da-da. And so here's my take on that. And here's my take on conspiracies generally. And I don't know, have I mentioned this in the videos before? I don't know. But if not, or if so, I'll mention it again anyway. Conspiracy theories. What are my thoughts on that in general? Well, one thing is that, like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but like, that's not an absolute like a absolutist statement I'm going to make here, right? Like I'm just going to say like in general, in on average, I think conspiracy theories for me, like many popular conspiracy theories, fall into this sort of what I call the third answer phenomenon. Okay? All right, now get out your notebooks and stuff. Like, this is important, third answer phenomenon. I'm going to explain it to you. This is what I've concluded after many years of reading about this type of material. Okay, so third answer phenomenon. The first answer, or the first theory is the conspiracy theory itself, right? Like the conspiracy theory itself, and it's all like rah, and this and that. That's the conspiracy theory itself, right? The second answer or second theory is of course, the parallel opposite, which is the skeptic take. I can't even really say mainstream anymore. Take it's a skeptic take, skeptic rationalist take, which is usually that it's all everything in that first answer conspiracy is completely. Of course, it's completely. None of it's true. It's all insanity. All of it. All of it. Like it's just. Don't even look further on it. Don't read up further on it. It's all dumb. I'm telling you right now. It's all. That's the second answer or second theory. But sometimes what I've noticed is that if you really look through all the material, and I don't just mean like the conspiracy material, because that's like one big, sort of biased agenda, or, just look at the skeptic thing, which sometimes is kind of also like a really big biased agenda, but look at everything in the round, right? And then just look at and just research the entire thing, right? What you sometimes end up noticing is that there is a third answer that emerges. And the third answer or third theory is not as it's certainly not the first one, the first theory. It's nowhere near as bombastic and sexy as that first theory at all. Okay? But it also has some unanswered things of its own, some weird shit that doesn't quite fit into the second answer, which is the skeptic answer that just there's zero weird about this situation at all. It's some weird third middle ground thing where it's like, yeah, it definitely that conspiracy theory, that original conspiracy theory, that's, but there is some weird shit here. I'm trying to look for examples that will not get me demonetized. Well, one example, here's one example, it's one of my favorites, is there's a whole thing, and I think the 1970s, after Elvis died, there was this whole thing about that Elvis had a secret brother, right? No, I'm going ahead of myself. Elvis died, and then there was this guy called, I believe, Orion, who was Elvis reborn, or Elvis never died, and it was really Orion. He really just came, like, you know, those JFK Jr. things, like, oh, he never died. It's this weirdo with this hat. And so this was like, Orion was supposed to be the real Elvis. Elvis never died, right? And he could actually really sing really good, too. So it was even more. So it was like he was singing. I think he released an album, and it's like, well, who is Orion? And this was like, this was... What's the name of that chick? The chick that was used to do those exposés, like Gail Brewer Giorgio. Was she, that her name? I don't even know. But like, I mean, I think she might have done something on like a investigative thing on it. Like, it was a big deal, right? Now, what's in this scenario? What is the first answer? The first answer is, oh, obviously Elvis never died, and this is Orion. He never died. He just went into hiding, and it's just, maybe this was, his death was all a hoax, or maybe he came back from the dead. Who knows? But Elvis never died. It's this guy. That's the first theory. And then the second one, of course, is the skeptic one. Like, this is all BS. This is just, let's shut this down. Don't even need to read further. Not, oh my God, I mean, this is obviously crazy. This is obviously crazy bullshit. Like, this is whatever like that. And that's the second answer. And then the third answer, if you do the research, it's actually, it gets into weird shit territory, because then you find out, you do research on the guy who portrayed Orion, right? And he kind of looks like Elvis a bit. But if you do even more research, he looks even more than Elvis. It looks like Elvis's dad. And you do more research, and then it's like, you're going through timelines, you're just going through everything, and it's like it's kind of like, and I swear, hand to God, if you do this research, and I mean, I'm saying when I say research, I don't mean like crazy people site research. I mean like just do like basic things. You start to see like there might have been a chance. If you follow the timeline of Elvis's dad and his philanderings and just his life and everything and where everything, you kind of like there is a chance that this guy who was Orion was actually Elvis's like half brother. Um, Again, if you do the research, you find some of this stuff and you're just like, is it? And I'm not saying 100% this is true, but there starts to be weird shit where you're like, I can't 100% discount. There's some weird connection there, but it wasn't Elvis coming back from the dead or never died. It's just this might have been Elvis's unacknowledged half brother. And the gentleman himself, unfortunately, he passed away relatively early himself, like I think in a armed robbery or something. So that he died too. But anyway, that is all to explain to you my theories on this stuff. So I mean, with the reptilian stuff, these videos, I mean, it's like 89.3% of all those things in those videos is like, it's a video glitch. It's Miley Cyrus has a naturally long tongue. I mean, people have it, at the very popular parties. I don't know, but I'm just saying. But where was I? Unusually long tongue, videos. What am I doing? Miley Cyrus, right? All those things, right? All those things, obviously, not reptilians, not reptiles, right? All of it, not reptiles. But my law of averages is there's probably like 0.8, 0.08 things on those things or all those examples that don't really have a complete explanation. Like there's probably like maybe like 0.2, like 2% of all these things that they show about these things where it's like, this is obviously fake, this is obviously fake, that you're kind of like, this seems like weird shit. It doesn't absolutely seem like completely fake. It seems like weird shit. And you're like, this doesn't really have explanation. It's like UFOs, right? It's like most of this stuff, to me, in this age of drones especially, I mean, my God, and everything, most of this stuff, I think, has a reasonable explanation. But I think there's always that like 5 to 10% where it's like, WTF, what is this? And then it's like, you look into it and you just can't find like a really great, satisfying explanation. Yeah, I got thrown by just thinking of that Miley Cyrus video. Yeah, that's, yikes. So anyway, TikTok, YouTube, X videos, reptilians, with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. And how much time have I? Almost a half an hour. That's great. Trying to think what else. Oh, right. And then so much more I would like to talk about, but I will leave it here because a half an hour seems like more than enough to ask for your time. I said on X that I had ordered some goofy t-shirts. I'd ordered some goofy t-shirts to wear on these videos. Though you probably won't see most of them because you're just seeing me like that. But I ordered them from, I don't want to say the site that I ordered them, but they were really cheap and they're all polyester. So you do the math. They're extremely cheap. But I did order a bunch of shirts and they're all goofy. And I was just like, shirts I wouldn't normally order. I was like, I would have ordered them if I was like, like still in the mid to late 90s. I would have ordered them for myself. Like I wouldn't order them from now. And now I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna order these t-shirts. Nostalgia. So what shirt is this? Can you tell what shirt this is? This is the most goofy of all the shirts. And I wanted this shirt for 6 months. I wanted this shirt. And the moment I saw it, I was like, I want this shirt. Okay, do you want to see what this shirt is? Okay. Let's see. All right, here we are. It's Stu Macher. That's right. It's Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard from the original Scream movie. My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me. Yes, it's Stu Macher, from the original Scream. Matthew Lillard, who is gonna he signed up for the new Scream movie. Scream 7, is it? That's pretty exciting. But yeah, it's Stu Macher. Just mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me. And what's the other line? His famous line. I think Sydney asked him over the phone, like what was your motive? And he's like, peer pressure. I'm too sensitive. I just love, I just, this is very funny. But Matthew Lillard in the new Scream movie, and Skeet Ulrich, not in the news. I don't think he is in this. Is he in the news? I don't think he is signed up for the new Scream 7 movie. But but he is signed up for the new Five Nights at Freddy movie with Matthew Lillard, so they're gonna return. But yeah, I got myself a Stu Macher shirt. I'm a goof. I'm a weirdo, but that's okay. You gotta in life you gotta find things that make you happy. You gotta find things that make you happy, and you just gotta run with it. So thank you for watching and listening to my ramble. And next time, I'm either gonna do the book read, or I'm gonna do the Star Trek action figures. And stay tuned and all that, and have a great day. Take care. Bye.